Have you ever wondered how someone becomes so rich that they could buy 1,800 houses in their lifetime? That's exactly what Donald Trump did. His amazing journey from real estate to becoming the wealthiest president in American history is full of surprising twists and turns. When Trump walked into the White House in 2017, he was worth more than $3 billion. That's more money than 6 George Washingtons combined. Let's dive into the fascinating story of how Trump built his incredible empire of shiny buildings, fancy hotels, and golden towers. The family fortune. Our story begins in the roaring 1920s, when Trump's father Fred started a tiny company called Elizabeth Trump & Son. Think about this: Fred bought his first house for just $800 and sold it for $7,000. That's like buying a toy car and selling it for the price of a real bike. Fred was really good at buying and fixing houses, and he made lots of money doing it. But then something terrible happened. The Great Depression hit America like a thunderstorm. People couldn't even buy food, let alone houses. Fred's company almost disappeared completely. To survive, they had to sell groceries instead of houses. But Fred didn't give up. When things got better, he started building again, this time bigger than ever. Donald's early days. Little Donald Trump was born into a world of building and selling. When he was just 3 years old, yes, when most kids are learning to ride tricycles, his dad set up a special money pot for him that gave him $60,000 every year. That's like getting a huge piggy bank that fills itself up. By the time Donald was 22, he wasn't playing with toy buildings anymore. He became the president of his father's company and started earning $260,000 a year. But Donald wanted more than just his father's business. He wanted to make everything super fancy and special. The golden touch. In 1977, Donald borrowed $3 million from his dad and bought an old hotel called the Commodore. He didn't just fix it up, he turned it into something magical. He covered it in shiny glass and made it look like it came from the future. This became the Grand Hyatt Hotel, and it made him $70 million in profit. That's like turning $1 into 20. Then came Trump Tower, a giant building that sparkled like a diamond in New York City. It cost $300 million to build, but it made Donald famous. Everyone started knowing the Trump name, and that's exactly what he wanted. The high life. The 1980s were like a dream come true for Donald. He bought the world's second most expensive boat, some of the fanciest helicopters ever made, and even his own airline. He named everything after himself: Trump Shuttle, Trump Tower, Trump Casino. It was like he was playing Monopoly, but in real life. During this time, Donald became known as the king of the 80s. His yacht was so big it had 100 rooms and a disco. His planes had gold seatbelts and marble bathrooms. Everything he owned had to be the biggest, the shiniest, or the most expensive. He even bought the Plaza Hotel, one of New York's most famous buildings, and made it even fancier. People started calling him the Donald, like he was the only Donald that mattered. Magazines put him on their covers, and TV shows wanted to interview him. He wrote a book called The Art of the Deal that taught people his secrets to getting rich. The book became so popular that almost everyone in America knew who Donald Trump was. The big crash. But then something went wrong. In the 1990s, Donald's casinos started losing money, lots of money. He had to sell his fancy boats and planes. It was like watching all his toys being taken away. But Donald had a clever idea. Instead of just building things, he would become a TV star. The problem started with the Taj Mahal Casino in Atlantic City. Donald spent over $1 billion to make it the biggest, fanciest casino in the world. He called it the eighth wonder of the world. But running a casino turned out to be harder than building fancy hotels. Soon, he owed the banks billions of dollars. Things got so bad that Donald had to sell his airline, his yacht, and even some of his prized buildings. Some people thought this was the end of Donald Trump. But they didn't know how good he was at coming back from tough times. Like a cat with 9 lives, Donald always seemed to land on his feet. The comeback king. He appeared in pizza commercials, created Trump University, which didn't end well, and started a TV show called The Apprentice. On this show, he earned $3 million for each episode. That's like getting paid more for 1 hour of TV than most people make in 20 years. The Apprentice was a massive hit. Every week, millions of people would watch Donald Trump tell contestants you're fired. The show made him more famous than ever. People weren't just thinking about him as a builder anymore. Now he was a TV star too. He started putting his name on all sorts of things: Trump steaks, Trump vodka, Trump ice, bottled water, and even Trump University. Some of these ideas worked better than others. Trump University got into big trouble and had to pay back $25 million to unhappy students. But Donald kept moving forward, always looking for the next big thing. The presidential fortune. By the time Donald Trump became president in 2017, he had built an empire worth $3.1 billion. We learned later that his father had actually given him much more than the $1 million he talked about. It was more like $431 million over his lifetime. But Donald took that money and turned it into something much bigger. When Donald Trump moved into the White House, he was different from any president before him. He was the first billionaire president, and the first one who had never been a politician or military leader before. Some people loved this about him, and others didn't. But everyone agreed it was something new in American history. His business empire was so big that he had to let his children run it while he was president. He owned buildings in countries all around the world. From New York to Mumbai, from Panama to the Philippines, you could find buildings with the Trump name shining in big golden letters. Today's empire. Today, the Trump name is everywhere: on buildings, golf courses, and in history books. His golf courses alone made about $200 million in just 18 months. Whether people love him or not, no one can deny that Donald Trump built one of the biggest business empires in America. The Trump Organization now owns or manages some of the most beautiful golf courses in the world. Some of them, like Trump Turnberry in Scotland, are so fancy that it costs hundreds of dollars just to play one game. His hotels are just as fancy. Some rooms cost more per night than most people earn in a month. Even though Donald Trump has had ups and downs in business, his brand remains one of the most famous in the world. When people see the name Trump on a building, they expect it to be fancy and expensive. That's exactly what Donald wanted when he started his career: to be known for luxury and success. Wow, what an incredible journey from selling houses to building golden towers. If you enjoyed learning about Donald Trump's amazing rise to riches, don't forget to smash that like button. Hit subscribe to catch more fascinating stories about the world's biggest fortunes and most incredible business empires. Drop a comment below and tell me what billionaire's story you want to hear next. Until next time, keep dreaming big. Remember, if you want to support the channel and see more videos like this one, hit that bell icon to never miss an upload. Share this video with your friends who love learning about success stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.